What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome and happy 2025. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday and a very happy and safe new year. I know that we sure did. We had such an incredible time on vacation, and while it may not have been the most relaxing vacation spending New Year in Disney World, it was magical and it was so nice to get away, disconnect, and just spend time together. And while I did have a lot of fun, I am so happy to be back, and I'm really excited about today's video because it's something a little different for my channel. We are going to be shopping my entire makeup stash and pulling products for my everyday makeup drawer. This is something I usually do at the beginning of every month anyways, because I like to cycle through my products, rotate things in and out, so I can make sure that I get as much use out of things as possible before they go off and I have to move them out of my collection. And I thought, why not bring y'all along for the ride, because I love watching these videos, mostly because I'm nosy and I want to see inside of other people's collections. But I won't be able to list and link every single product that I pull down the description box just because there's not enough room, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have about shades, specific product names. If you couldn't understand me or you missed it, just leave it in that comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But I will have what I am wearing on my face listed and linked down below in that description box. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into this video. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started in my top drawer, which is a good majority of my blushes. There's a few that kind of trickle down into the next drawer, but for the most part, this is all of my blushes. I do have everything pulled from my everyday makeup drawer, so everything that is in my collection that I am not currently testing or need to test is going to be in these drawers, and this one is super congested. I realize it. I definitely need to reorganize it, but I've been on vacation. I haven't had time, so hopefully next month when I do this video again, it will look much better than this. At least that's the goal. But let's go ahead and start up here, and we'll just kind of move our way back because I am going to have to pull this out to pull everything forward so we can see everything. But let's start with liquid blushes over here. So I definitely want to pull this one from M Cosmetics. This is the Color Drops Serum Blush in the shade Rose Milk, and I wasn't too big a fan of this when I first tried it, but I've kind of noticed my makeup preferences have changed a little bit, so I want to pull this one back out, get some more use out of it, and see if my thoughts on it have changed. So I am going to start with that one. And then I also want to pull, is there any other kind of liquid blush that I want to pull? I've got all of my e.l.f., my Hourglass. I do want to pull an Hourglass one. I have one in my mind that I want to pull, and it's this one right here, which is in the shade Vision. I want to pull this one. It is so beautiful. It's a little bit deeper, but it's still like this really pretty kind of rosy shade. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. And then I think we're going to leave liquid blushes alone. I could go crazy with liquid blushes, but I want to pull one of these from M Cosmetics, and I'm kind of thinking I want to pull the shade Baroque just because it's a really pretty sort of everyday neutral shade, and it's just stunning on the cheeks. I really do enjoy this one. I want to get more use out of it. I love this formula in general, so we're going to go ahead and pull this one. Let's go ahead and let's pull some of these out so I can move more towards the back of this drawer and see what's kind of hidden back there. So I'm going to pull this little tray out and set it aside. This is just, it doesn't work very well. Like, this is not a well thought out storage process, but right now it is what it is. So we're going to pull out this little tray right here, and ta-da, just like that, I can see everything that is in here. So let's go ahead and pull this one from Clinique. This is one of their Cheek Pop blushes. I saved both of these in my declutter because I really do love this formula. I loved it for a long time, but I haven't used it in a long time. So we're going to go ahead and pull out Pansy Pop. It's just such a pretty color. Spring is coming. I'm excited about that one. So we're going to pull that one. I don't want to go too crazy because I still have face palettes to go through, but is there anything else in here, like off the top of my head, that kind of catches my eye that I really want to reach for? I want to dig into some of these that I don't go for too often. I think I want to pull out this one from Rare Beauty and see if I can play with it a little bit more and get some more use out of it, maybe as a blush topper. This one is really pretty on its own as a blush. It's just a little too shimmery and reflective for what I prefer on a daily basis as far as a blush goes, but I still want to get some more use out of it. So I'm going to pull that one. And then, like I said, I could go crazy with blushes, but I think I'm going to keep this to a pretty decent minimum. So do I want to pull any of these from Rhode. I just love this formula so much. I think I'm going to pull Piggy. Is this Piggy? I can't read the bottom of that. Yes, this is Piggy. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. This is like one of her most popular shades. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one, and I think we're going to move on because I don't want to sit on blushes for too long. Like I said, I could just really go crazy with blushes. So let me go ahead and kind of put this drawer back, and we're going to move on to the next drawer down. Alright, so next drawer down, we have the rest of my cream and liquid blushes over here, and then all of this is going to be my bronzers. So, as far as over here goes, I don't think that there's anything that I'm going to pull. I feel like I have enough. I've got 3 liquids, or well, 3 liquid creams, and then I have 2 powders, and I think that's plenty. So let's go ahead and move on to bronzers over here. So I definitely want to pull out, one of these because I always have one of these in my drawer to deepen up my foundations. So I'm trying to decide if I want to pull out my Makeup by Mario or my Tarte, and I'm kind of feeling like we're going to pull out the Tarte one just because a couple of the foundations I have that I'm testing out are like way too light for me, and I don't think this is going to give enough color. So we're going to go ahead and pull this one out, and we're going to leave this one in the drawer. But I do want to pull a cream bronzer out, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to go for. I don't have a lot of options as far as cream bronzers go. I'm okay with that. It's kind of a new thing that I've gotten into this year, and I'm thinking maybe we should pull out this one from Charlotte Tilbury just because this one is massively huge. I feel like I haven't gotten enough love from it to begin with, and it's not an absolute favorite, but it is still a really nice formula, and I definitely want to get some more use out of it. So I'm gonna go, sorry, I know I wasn't in frame. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one, and then I think I kind of feel like maybe I want to pull this one from Rare Beauty. This one is in the shade Happy Soul, and it is a little too orange for me. No, we're going to save this one for the summer. I get away with this one better in the summer just because I feel like it gives me a little bit more of a bronzy look, and I'm more comfortable with that. So let's do this one. Let's do my Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Sail because this one is a very subtle bronzer, and I do have times where I enjoy a really subtle bronzer. I definitely enjoy a more subtle bronzer versus like a really prominent bronzer, if that makes sense. I've just noticed it's more flattering on my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one, and then we're going to pull this little guy out right here, and we're going to pull some of these forward. So if I can do this without everything falling over back there, because this goes back quite a ways. So what do we want to pull from in here? I kind of want to pull this one from Kosas. This is the Sun Show bronzer in the shade Waves, and it's just a beautiful baked bronzer. I love the tone of this one. I love the performance of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that one out. And then what else do I want to pull? So we've got Jones Road. This is a beautiful option. It's like a really pretty sort of rosy bronzer. I love the tone of this one. It's so unique in my collection, and it's very flattering if you are fair with a cool undertone. It just looks beautiful on the skin. So I'm debating pulling this one, but then I also have this one from MAC, and this is the one that I repressed recently because I broke it. And I'm trying to decide if maybe I want to pull, do I want to pull both of these? Do I really need that many bronzer options, or do I want to put the one from Kosas back and have both of these out? I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to put the one from Kosas back. So let me grab that one. We're going to put this one back, and we're going to pull these two. So that's going to be plenty because I'm sure that there's going to be some in face palettes when I get there. So like I said, I want to make sure I have a good variety. Let me just kind of shove some of these back in here that were kind of hanging out on the side over here because everything does not fit the way that I want it to. That's not going to fit. I think we're good as far as what's going to fit in here. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this drawer back, and then we'll move on to the next drawer down, and that one is going to be highlighters. How did I have this? I think I have this way. Yeah. Okay. Next drawer. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into highlighters, and I think I'm going to go ahead and skip the Super Shocks and the liquids just because I've really been getting a lot of use out of those lately. They've kind of been a go-to for me, and I really want to jump into more of the palettes and the singles that I have back here and give those some more love. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out these really quick just so I can pull everything forward and we can see everything that I have and go through our options. But there is one palette in particular sitting right over here on the side that I do want to pull, and it's this one from the Unearthly Cosmetics Dreamer collection. Sorry, I'm trying to get in frame. This is just a very awkward angle for me. You're gonna have to deal with me until I get all this figured out because I am not used to filming this way. But this is the one that came out with the Dreamer collection, and these are so beautiful. They're not shifty, they're not glittery, they are just beautiful, like a little bit more than a Lit Within highlight, but not super beaming. You can build them up, you can sheer them out. They're very like everyday wearable shades, and honestly, this palette would probably do me for the entire month, but I'm extra, so we're gonna pull something from over here as well, just because I like to have options. I am an options girly, and let's go through these. So I have no idea what I want to pull. I feel like I've got so many that I love, but there's also so many that I just kind of, I gravitate towards on the daily, and they're mostly up here, like my Gucci one. I've got my Dior palette that I just used recently, Bobbi Brown. I know I just did Ofra not too long ago, so I think I want to pull, what do I want to pull? Maybe we should pull this one. This one's very different from anything in the palette, and I love this highlighter so much. If I can open it, this is the one that L'Oreal came out with last year, and this is stunning. It is an absolute favorite from the drugstore. This one and the one from Maybelline, these are favorites. If you're looking for a good highlighter from the drugstore, I highly, highly recommend those. But I am going to go ahead and pull this one, and then part of me really wants to pull this one, but I feel like I've got shades very similar in here. Whoops, hello, don't mind me. I feel like I've got shades very similar in here. So I think we're going to try making it through an entire month with just the 2 options, which is really 4 options. But I feel good about that. Plus, like I said, we've still got face palettes to go through. So I'm going to go ahead and put this drawer back together, and then we'll move on to my next one, which is going to be face palettes. Alright, so this is all of my face palettes, and we're just going to kind of go through these the best we can. We're going to have to kind of pull things out and rearrange and whatnot so we can see everything, but there's definitely a couple right on top that I really want to get some use out of, and the first one is going to be this one from Hourglass. This is the Ambient Lighting Trio palette. It's the lightest one that they have, and this is the second or third one. I can't remember at this point how many I've been through, but I've absolutely loved this for so long, and I do still love it, but as you can see, this one I'm almost finished with. I just kind of swirl my brush in the whole thing. So my goal is to finish at least this one in the middle and maybe this one. This one's honestly a little bit too dark for me. It's fine if I mix them all together, but on its own it's a little too dark. But I really want to finish this palette off, and it's not one that I would repurchase because I do have all of these other ones over here, but I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. And then I also want to pull this one from Bobbi Brown. This one came out last year as like a holiday, or not last year, year before now. Hello, we're in 2025, but it's a holiday palette, and it's got a beautiful baked gelée formula in it. You've got a bronzer, a highlighter, and a blush in here, and you can't get this one anymore, but this is the kind of stuff that I can use for like my Throwback Thursday videos when I'm doing my full face of makeup and whatnot. I don't mind using stuff like that in those videos because it's a Throwback Thursday. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that one, and then we're going to kind of rummage through the rest of this drawer and see if there's anything else that I want to pull. So I'm going to kind of go towards the back. Ooh, these are so pretty. I think I'm going to pull this for next month though. These are the Lethal blushes that have like a little bit of like a sheen to them. They're not super glowy. They're just like the perfect glow, but I have enough blushes pulled. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that one I think next month. I have this one from Adept that, ugh, I love that one as well, but we're not here to do a whole collection video. But I think that's what, 2 face palettes, well, technically 3 face palettes if you count the one from Unearthly with the highlighters in it. But I think I want to pull maybe one more. And do I want to pull this one from Unearthly? This is the Spring Magic Blush Palette, and this one is so, so beautiful. So I think I'm going to pull this one as well. And we're going to call it a day with face palettes. I feel like that's pretty good. I don't want to be overwhelmed with my options. Plus, I do have new makeup that I'm testing out. I have things coming in. So this is just kind of filler for when I'm not testing things. So I'm not trying to go overboard with this, but I feel like this feels good. This is a good variety. I feel good with what I have pulled. So let's go ahead and move on to the next drawer. And that one I believe is going to be like all of my single eye products. Alright, so we've got a different angle going on. I had to kind of rearrange the camera, so bear with me in these first couple videos as I try and kind of get my bearings as to how to film this and everything. I'm a work in progress, but this is my drawer where I have like all of my miscellaneous eye products. So I've got like my potted liners over here. I've got extra mascaras. These are my single shadows. I've got shadow sticks in the back, a lot of those things. So I do want to pull some things from here, but I don't feel like this is going to be anything that's going to be heavily used in my rotation, just because right now I'm more likely to reach for an eyeshadow palette over a single, but I definitely want to have some pulled in. So if I need like an inner corner highlight or maybe a little sparkle to go with a matte palette or something like that, I do have options to pull in. So I'm just going to kind of go through this. I don't really know what I want to pull, honestly. I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts on that, but we're going to pull some in. So I think I want to pull in my 2 from Sarah. These are the souffle eyeshadows. I always want to call them the jelly eyeshadows, but these are the souffle eyeshadows, and these are so incredibly cool because they have like this really interesting sort of like jelly texture to them, and they are just so insanely beautiful on the lid. They're not super reflective, they're not super shifty or anything like that, but they just have a really pretty like flattering sheen to them on the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and pull both of these. I have Nuage, how do you say that? Nuage d'Argent, I'm sure that's how you say it. And then Ciel Doré, I'm not sure exactly how you say these. I apologize, but this is the other shade that I have. And these are just really fun, really beautiful, and I want to get more use out of these. So I'm going to go ahead and pull both of these out. And then I think as far as singles go, I'm going to kind of leave this be, but I do need to pull this out so I can get to what I have back here, because these are my shadow sticks, and then I also have like primers and stuff back here, but I have my primers that I'm reaching for, and we're good. But I do have some brow products in here that I want to pull, so let's go through this first. And let me think. I'm trying to think what I want to do, because I think I need to pull a white eyeshadow base just to have one, just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one from Quignon. This was a gift with purchase from the Look Healthy store. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that one. And then as far as brows go, I'm going to pull one of these cute little guys that I got as a gift with purchase as well. It's another C Beauty brand. This one is also, no, I think this one's from Immortals. Yes, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this one as well for my brows. I do already have my brow gel in my everyday drawer as well as my other eyeshadow primers. So I'm just going to kind of skip the rest of this because those are my absolute favorites right now in this moment. So let's put that back there. And then as far as shadow sticks go, I think we're going to skip on this for now, just because I'm not really feeling any of this right now. So we're just going to kind of skip this completely. Who knows, maybe in the future I'll be more prone to want to reach for those, but right now we're good. So let me go ahead and put this little guy back in here. But something I do want to pull that I do want to try and get more use out of is my potted liners right here from Melt. I have 3 of them. So I have Nightshade, which is from the Bailey Sarian collection, and it's like this really pretty like blurple shade. I don't know if it's going to focus on it with everything in the background, but we're going to pull all 3 of these so I have them as options, because if they're not up front and center, I won't remember them. But I have this one, which is Master of Fright, and I believe these two, yes, these two are from the Nightmare Before Christmas collection, but that's Master of Fright. And then the last one is going to be Terrible Vision, and it's this one right here, and this one is really drying up. It was not in the best shape whenever I did my collection video. These just don't seem to last very long. I think I decluttered 2 of them in that video because they were so dried up. So as much as I love the formula, I don't think I'll purchase any more moving forward because I don't use them enough before they dry up. But let's go ahead and move on because we still have like primers, foundations, powder, concealer, all of that to go through. So let's go ahead and move on to that drawer. Alright, so next drawer down we have powders and primers in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with primers. So I'm going to pull this little tub out and set it aside and pull all of my primers forward. So let me kind of angle this to where y'all can see a little bit better. I think that is going to be good right there. Okay, so I think what I want to go ahead and pull is probably my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. I love this primer. I have really been missing it in my rotation, so I want to pull this one. And then I also want to pull this one from Hourglass. I think this is the only one. Is this the only one that I have? No, I have another one back here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. It's a fantastic primer. I really do love it. And then my last option is going to be, where are you? This one from One Size. So this is the Secure the Glow. It is a tacky hydrating primer. It has a little bit more hydration than the one from Milk, but it doesn't have as much tack as the one from Milk. I'm sorry if this is not focusing very well, but I like the options of these, and this one is just a really pretty like perfecting primer. It gives a really nice kind of silky canvas for your makeup to go on over. So I think this is going to be 3 really good options, but then I also want to have a glow booster as well because I love to have one to wear under a more mattifying foundation. I like to have it to kind of mix in if I need to, sometimes just to wear on its own. So I think the one that I want to pull is my one from L'Oreal, the Lumi Glotion. This is the older packaging. They've since repackaged it. They've brought out more shades and stuff like that, but I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. I have the shade, what are you, 901. Let me read it. I can't read it down there. Fair Glow. That's the one that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that as well. And then we're going to push that back. And we're going to put my powders back in here. And before we jump into everything, I wanted to show y'all, I finished my Kristen Dominique powder, but I'm hanging on to it because I want to try and do maybe an empties video at the end of the year, or just kind of have my empties in here for when I do my declutter so you can see kind of what I got through. So I am going to leave that in here, but I want to pull, there's 2 powders I have in my mind that I want to pull, and the first one is the Kosas Cloud Set powder. This is a stunning powder. It is so finely milled, so blurring, and just beautiful and lightweight on the skin. And since we're in like colder months, we're actually about to get a freeze in a couple of days. So hopefully everything will hold up, no busted pipes, no power outages, nothing like that. And I am like a week out from getting a generator. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But what I was saying was, since we're moving into the colder months, my skin's a little bit more on the dry side. I already have normal dry leaning skin anyway. I don't want anything super heavy and mattifying on my skin right now, and this is lightweight, very breathable. So we're gonna pull that one. And the other one I have in mind to pull is my La Mer powder. This thing is so incredibly expensive. I don't have a whole lot left. I want to finish this up this year. I don't know if I would repurchase it or not. A part of me is like, no, you don't need it. But a part of me is like, well, if I miss it, maybe I will. So we're going to pull this one for now and get some use out of it. And then I need something for under my eyes. And this is my go-to, but I really want to try and get some use out of some other ones in my collection. So I'm going to put this one back and leave it be. And I'm thinking I want to pull maybe the pink one from Kristen Dominique. This is a really good formula, and let me get in here. And this one has a really pretty like pink hue to it. It looks really intimidating in the component, but it just shears out so beautifully and it looks really pretty under the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one, and we're going to leave the rest of these powders be. Do I need to have 3 powders pulled? No, but I like to have options. So let's go ahead and move on to the next drawer. Alright, so here we are in my drawer with all of my foundations, my concealers, and then I have setting sprays way in the back, which we'll get to in just a few minutes. I'm not going to be able to move everything to pull that out, so if you've watched my collection declutter videos, you know what I have, so I'll just kind of pull out what I think I want to use. But let's go ahead and start with foundation. So I want to use some stuff that I haven't been heavily using, and I'm kind of thinking, I'm not really sure actually, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I want to pull this one from Fenty Beauty. It's the stick foundation, and I haven't gotten a whole lot of use out of this one. I do really enjoy it. I think it's a really great formula. It's definitely geared more towards all skin types, but more specifically I would say combo to oily skin. I feel like it works really well for them, but I want to get some more use out of this one, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this one. And then another one that I think I want to pull is this one from Patrick Ta, just because I feel like this is going to work wonders for my skin this time of year. I'm not really purchasing from Patrick Ta anymore since the whole eyeshadow thing, but I have this in my collection. I paid a hefty price tag for it, and I want to use it, especially before it starts to grow anything and become a science experiment. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one as well, and I think 2 foundations is going to be plenty because I do still have 2 that I'm testing out, and I have a new one on the way, so that's going to be plenty as far as foundation. I don't need to have a ton of them, but I do want to have some options for days that I don't really want to kind of play with a newer foundation. I want to have like a solid foundation I know that's going to work for me, so I'm going to go ahead and pull those, and then we're going to go into concealer, but I need to get these out of the way so that we can actually kind of get into them because they're all in here. So for this, let's take out the ones that I always go for, because these are like go-tos and I feel like I always pull these, and I'm like, I need to get some love out of these other ones down here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those out, and I think what I want to do is I want to use this one from House Labs. This is a fantastic concealer. It is so beautiful. It is pretty full coverage and it's a little bit thicker, but it's still very flattering under the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that one, and then what else do I want to pull? I've got so many in here, and I want something a little bit, I think more on like the lighter side as far as like consistency goes, not necessarily coverage. I'm okay. I don't really have like a preference as far as coverage goes for my concealers. I can kind of roll with anything as long as it's not drying. I don't want anything drying under my eyes because my under eyes are already dry enough. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one from Danessa Myricks, the Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer. Stunning, stunning formula. Absolutely love it. It's slightly too dark for me, but it works. I can get away with it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this as well. This is the Creaseless Corrector from Tarte, and it has a little bit of like a pinky undertone to it. It's in the shade Peachy Pink, so if I mix this one with this concealer together, it gives me like a perfect shade. So I'm going to pull that as an option, and then the last thing that I want to pull is this one from Catrice. This is the Under Eye Brightener in the shade Light Rose, and this is like a dupe for the one that Becca used to have, and I used to love that one, and this one is a fantastic formula. So I'm going to pull that as well, because there's days that I like to have just a little bit of like a brightening corrector moment under my eyes. I don't need like a full-on concealer because I don't really have a lot of darkness or anything to conceal. I don't really have a lot of issues. I just have fine lines and crepiness and dryness and things like that. But let's go ahead and pull setting spray. So I think what I want to use, because I've been heavily using the one from Charlotte Tilbury, but I want to pull, I'm trying to see what I have in here to really make a decision as to what I want to pull. I think I'm going to pull this one from Urban Decay. This is the All-Nighter with Hyaluronic Acid and Watermelon Fruit Extract. This is a fantastic one, but it's a little too sticky for my preferences. I wanted something a little bit more hydrating versus sticky. I don't feel like it mattifies my skin. I don't feel like it you know, disrupts my makeup. I just feel like it leaves a little bit of a film, but I do want to use it because it does what it's supposed to do. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that one, and that's the only setting spray that I'm going to pull because I don't need to have options. If it's going to set my makeup and do what I want it to do, I am happy with that. But I think that is it. So we're going to go ahead and head over to my little makeup desk where I do my filming and do my makeup, and we're going to put all of this in my drawer somehow. Alright, so here we are in my everyday makeup drawer, and you can see I've got just a few products in here already. I've got my ABH brow gel that I love so much. I'm still using my P. Louise eyeshadow base, my NYX glitter primer. Of course, I have my MAC paint pot in here, and then I have my Auric, what is it called? The Auric Plush Ritual Ceramide Lip Treatment. I have the one in the shade Bare, and it's just a lip conditioner that I put on before I film and things like that, just to get a little bit of moisture back into my lips. So I already have these products in here. So we're going to start by filling this little section right here. And this is where I keep like my smaller products. So like my little brow pencil will go in here. I've got my eye primer that was going to go in there as well. And then we're going to put these little gel liners in here, and we're going to put my single shadows in here that I went ahead and pulled for this. And then what else do I usually put in here? I usually put my concealers in here. They usually fit pretty nicely, so I don't know how well this is going to work since I'm pulling in some things that I don't normally pull in, such as all of this over here, but we're just going to kind of roll with it. So that is actually fitting pretty well. I kind of dig through this drawer anyway, so it's not a huge deal if it's a little bit on the cluttered side. It's just easier to kind of go through if all of this is sitting right here and it's not kind of rolling around my drawer. But I usually keep this kind of pushed towards the front, and then I put everything else in the back, and it doesn't go too far back, but it goes far back enough. So let's go ahead and do foundation. We've got that one, we've got that one. I'm going to put my primers in here as well. I love that I have some smaller primers. They don't take up nearly as much room, so it's super helpful. And then of course I've got my Lumi Glotion. I've got my Glow Drops from Tarte. What else do I have? This can go in here. This is my Glossier bronzer. I couldn't think of the word for a minute. I'm going to put my face palettes kind of over here if they'll fit. Yeah, kind of just stack them over here. And since I didn't pull a whole lot of singles, it'll be kind of easy to remember that that's sitting there. So I've got that. And then we've got some of these back here. So I might have to do a little bit of rearranging. I think these smaller products can kind of go in there. And then we'll put that right there. Maybe that can go in there. Those are all of my bronzers right there. Let's kind of move this that way. I think that's going to work better. I wish I had a bigger desk. I really want to get a bigger desk eventually. It's something that's on my to-do list, but it's obviously not like a dire need. So we just kind of roll with what we have going on. But let's do powders. How do I want to do this? This might take me a minute to kind of rearrange. It usually does. So just kind of bear with me a little bit. But let's do some blush in here. This is never super beautiful as far as organization goes, but it does what I need it to do, and it also limits me as to how much I can pull out, which is actually pretty helpful if you think about it. So let's do, this is my issue right here. It's just taking up so much room, but it's fine. Let's do that there. And then maybe we'll do that like that. I mean, it's not beautiful, but it gets the job done, right? So, and I don't mind digging. I mean, I know what's in here, and I can see it enough that I know if I need to dig a little bit. And it's not like I'm going through my entire collection. I'm going through what I have sitting right here. So I think that's actually pretty good. Look at that. And then of course I have like my SPFs sitting over here off to the side just because I use them so often that I don't need to put them in a drawer. And it's the same thing with my setting spray and my MAC Fix Plus. They're always sitting over here to the side. And then of course I have my liners, my mascara, my lip products, and all of that. And I'm not going to pull that for this drawer just because it's all sitting right here. And I never know what I'm going to want to use, so it's easier just to be able to go through it as I want to. I used to pull lip products from my everyday drawer, but then I realized I was using the same things over and over instead of going through my collection. So I think I'm just going to kind of leave it sitting there and just put it back. That way I'm forced to reach in there and to kind of get use out of things, and then I can really find what I love, what I don't love, what I'm reaching for, and things like that. But this is my everyday makeup drawer. So this is all of the makeup that's going to be in my rotation for the month of January. And then we will do this all again at the beginning of February, and we'll put all of this back and pull out new stuff and just keep doing that for the rest of this year. So that is going to be it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Let me know if you kind of rotate your makeup and do an everyday makeup drawer. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, if it's something you want to keep seeing on my channel and all of that. But let's have that conversation. Light up that comment section, and as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week, and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.